KSY TV, your first alert station. Action 2 News at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Jeff is off today. We are in a first alert weather day as we look ahead to a long duration winter weather event bringing ice and snow to northeast Wisconsin. Meteorologist Keith Gibson joins us with our forecast in the First Alert Weather Center. Keith.
That is correct, Sarah. You were just showing the Green Bay Skycam. That is the exception to the rule in the Green Bay area. We actually have very fine drizzle, freezing drizzle, some flurries, some flakes out there. This is First Alert Viper Max. We are detecting that activity. That's really about it locally on radar, but things will be changing later on this evening. So, of course, no widespread travel issues, but there are some freezing surfaces, some elevated surfaces in the Green Bay area with that drizzle and the flurry activity that is ongoing right now. But by and large, a minor situation now. Things will ramp on up this evening and tonight and for Tuesday. That first alert weather day, a mix of snow, sleet, freezing rain. The highest snowfall amounts here will be north of Green Bay, in the valley down to the south. A mix. Sleet, snow, and some freezing rain. That's to be expected. Let's zoom out. Let's show you the system. The area of low pressure way down to our southwest in Kansas. Moisture creeping in slowly, but it's coming our way. I think later this evening, as we check out Predictor real quick, things will blossom after 6 o'clock or so going into the evening hours. Snow in the north where it's colder. In the valley and down to the south, a better chance for that wintry mix of sleet, freezing rain, and a little bit of snow. Here's our planner. Some of us stuck in the teens right now, including Green Bay. Some of you in the 20s to around 30 degrees in the far south, but the moisture will be building on in as we go throughout the evening hours. Here are the temperatures, mid-teens north, around 30 in Fond du Lac. A lot of stuff happening here. We'll break it down a little bit more so coming up.
All right, thanks, Keith. This long duration winter storm is not to be taken lightly. The city of Green Bay certainly is not. Casey Torres joins us live from the Green Bay Public Works Department with how they are handling this storm. Casey.
Sarah, well, crews are ready to handle this 1-2 punch weather maker. In fact, crews were out of the streets earlier this weekend and they were prepping some of the primary roads. And today they're also touching up on those spots. But here is the breakdown for once we're in the middle of this storm. 130 miles of arterial roads like Mason Street will be taken care of no matter how much snow we get. But if we get more than 2 inches of snow, Public Works could use up to 110 units to handle an extra 320 miles of residential streets. That's what they call a full city snowplow operation. And the operations division director says they're ready to handle what this system is expected to bring.
Public Works, this is our business. During winter months, this is kind of our primary business, is keeping the roads free and clear and safe.
Now, equipment like snowplows isn't the only thing that is used to clear the roads. The department tells me they have enough supplies to handle, again, what is expected. Now, take a look over here. This is 3,000 tons of salt underneath this tarp. And the department tells me they have nearly 20,000 gallons of salt brine to cover what is needed. And already we're seeing some action starting off right here as well. So we're going to stick around and keep you covered. And as you can tell, it's already windy. Reporting live in Green Bay, Casey Torres, Action 2 News.
Casey, thanks. It is definitely windy out there. Well, that winter weather wreaked havoc on Lake Winnebago this past weekend. Snow and winds forced Battle on Bago to shut down early on Friday after it kept rescue crews busy all night long. In a First Alert update, Emily Matesic looks at what went wrong and the lessons that were learned.
It's another windy day out on Lake Winnebago and the upriver lakes. It's not as bad as Friday night, however, when crews from across the county had to come to the rescue of more than a dozen people out on the ice. This is one of 3 cars crews from Sunk Dive and Ice Service pulled out of Lake Poygan today. It's just part of the aftermath of Friday night's snow squall that severely impacted travel on Lake Winnebago and the upriver lakes. Both the Winneconne-Poygan Fire District and Neenah-Menasha Fire Rescue damaged their airboats while rescuing people. The ice itself, which is about 22 inches thick on Lake Poygan and 17 to 20 inches on Lake Winnebago, wasn't the issue on Friday night. Instead, the forecasted snow squalls, coupled with high winds, led to zero visibility. Just another reminder that knowing the forecast is just as important as knowing ice conditions.
People that were trying to get off the lake conditions where you couldn't see anything. They couldn't see cracks, they couldn't see shoves. We had a big crack open up on Poygan last, I believe it was Wednesday, about 12 feet wide by 1.5 miles long. So if you're not familiar with where you're going and know exactly where those things are, you're going to end up in them.
While thankfully there were no fatalities in Friday or Saturday's incidents, what happened is a good reminder that ice is never 100% safe. Reporting on the shores of Lake Winnebago, Emily Matesic, Action 2 News.
Emily, thanks. A first alert into our newsroom within the past half hour. A 15-year-old Milwaukee teen is now charged for last week's deadly shooting on the west side of Green Bay. 15-year-old Jeremiah Robinson made his initial appearance in just the past half hour. He faces charges of first-degree intentional homicide, possession of a firearm on the grounds of a school, possession of heroin with intent to distribute, and several other charges. As we first told you last week, police were called to West Mason Street and Oneida around 1 p.m. Friday for a shooting. A criminal complaint says Robinson and Jeremy Fink were in the Walgreens when a person confronted Fink about money. When they got outside, a minivan pulled up and a man got out and began a fight with Fink. Robinson then shot at the attacker, according to police, striking him several times before fleeing with Fink from that scene. Robinson was arrested near the scene where officers found a firearm, 28 grams of heroin in several baggies, and 7 grams of marijuana in a bag. The victim was later found at a hospital where he died from his injuries. His name has not yet been released. Robinson's bond was set at $1 million cash this afternoon. He is due back in court March 2nd. Police are still looking for 40-year-old Fink, who may have been armed with a knife during Friday's shooting. Anyone with information on Fink is asked to contact Green Bay Police at the number you see there on your screen. We will have much more on this tonight on Action 2 News at 5 and 6. The Oconto County District Attorney has now made a request to reopen the investigation into student searches at Suring High School. The sheriff tells us the DA made the request Friday and asked for a meeting to find out what he's looking for from investigators. No meeting has been scheduled yet. As we have previously reported, the DA announced his office would not be filing criminal charges based on allegations students were asked to strip down to their underwear as school officials searched for vaping devices. In a letter, he says the school's actions did not fall under the legal definition of strip searches. Several families have hired a civil rights attorney for further legal action. Still ahead this afternoon,